Hello, this is Essential Maths, and today we'll be looking at mixed fractions and their additions and subtraction. This mixed fraction stuff, this will be very important when you're getting into GCSE and even higher levels. So mastering these is very important. Okay, so let's get right into it. Okay, there are three types of fractions, we call them. So first one is proper fractions, where the numerator, the number on top, is smaller than the denominator. Improper fractions are the exact opposite. Numerators are bigger than the denominators here. And there are mixed fractions, which are actually improper fractions, but written in a proper fraction manner. So you can see the 2 over 5 is a proper fraction, but when you change it back to a normal fraction, it becomes an improper one. Okay, first we need to master the technique of converting mixed fractions into the improper ones. So that's what we will be doing next. So if you want to attempt any of these examples that I'm about to show you by yourself, feel free to pause if you wish to. Okay, so convert this mixed fraction into an improper one. So we had this on the last slide, so this one here. Let's do this here. So let's write it down first. So 3 2/5. Okay, and the way you do this is, remember the bottom number, the denominator will always stay the same. So when you convert that to an improper fraction, this will stay as a 5. The top number comes from, let's see, it's a different color. The top number comes from this number. Take the bottom number, multiply it by the number in front. So multiply. So we will get 15. So 3 times 5 is 15, and then you add it with the number on the numerator. Okay, 15 plus 2. So this will be our improper fraction here. That would be 17 over 5. Okay, so 3 2/5 in improper fraction form would be 17 over 5. And if you want to go back to the mixed form, we would have to do a little division. So let's do that here. So we do 5 divided by 17. So 5 only goes 3 times into 17, so that would be 15, and the remainder will be 2. Okay, so the mixed fraction will be, remember, the denominator does not change, so the denominator stays as it is, and the answer to the division will be the number in front, and the remainder will be the number on top. So we go back to where we started. Okay, so now let's do some additions with involving mixed fractions. Okay, so here's another example. Evaluate the following expression. Okay, let's write it down first as usual. Okay, the first step is to change these mixed fractions into an improper one. Okay, so the first one, again, we do, the denominator stays the same, 10. The denominator in this one also stays the same, it's 5. Again, 10 times the number in front, that would be 30, and then add with the number on top, 30 plus 3. Same here, 5 times 2 gives me 10 plus 2. Okay, then we have 33 over 10, and over here we get 12 over 5. Okay, now for fraction addition, if you want to add two fractions with different denominators, we need to change one of them to, or both of them, to have the same denominator. So in this question, we do not have the same denominators. We have 10 on the first one, 5 on the second one. So we need to change that. So remember that, let's say we have another fraction here. This is not part of the question. So suppose we have a fraction here. It's half. And we multiply the top, the numerator and the denominator by a number. Okay, then this will become 2 over 4. Now half and 2 over 4 are actually the same. They have the same values but just different numerator and denominator. That's what we call equivalent fraction. Half is equivalent to 2 quarters. Okay, we can apply the same rule on the second fraction here. So we want a 10 over here, and the way we make a 10 is multiplying the top and the bottom of the fraction by 2. Okay, so then we'll have 33 over 10 plus, multiply the top, we'll get 24, and then multiply the bottom by 2, we get 10. Okay, now we have the same denominator on both fractions. We can just add the numerators. Only add the numerators, do not add the denominator. The denominator stays as there. So we will have 10, and then when if we add 33 plus 24, we will get 57. And that is our answer. Or if you want to write it in the mixed form, that would be 5 7/10. Okay, let's do another one with the subtraction. Subtraction is the same, it's just instead of adding we just take away. Okay, here's another one. This one is similar to the last one, except it's just a subtraction. Again, change them to improper fraction. Let's write down the question first. Okay, again, the denominator stays the same. Okay, and then we do 3 times 2, that would be 6, and then plus 1 over here, that would be 3 times 1, which is 3, and then plus 1. Then we have 7 over 2 minus 4 over 3. Okay, once again, our denominators are not the same. We want to somehow multiply both of them or one of them to make sure that we have a denominator on the bottom. So let's write down the 2 times and the 3 times table on the side here. So then we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, whatever, and then we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay, now both of these timetables have 6 in them. So 6, we can actually make these 2 fractions into a 6, and then we will have the same denominator. So how can you make the first fraction 6? Well, we can just multiply the first fraction by 3, and we can multiply the second fraction by 2. Okay, so if we do that, 7 times 3 would be 21, 2 times 3 would be 6, minus 4 times 2 would be 8, 3 times 2 would be 6. And once again, we end up with the same denominator now. All we have to do is just take away, do 21 minus 8, leave the denominator as it is. So then we'll have, so 21 minus 8 would be 13 over 6. Or if you want to write it as a mixed fraction, that would be 2 and 1/6. Okay, so last question. It says determine the value of x. So it's kind of like an equation question, but we just keep going as normal. We change everything to improper fractions. So let's write down the question first of all. 10. Okay, now let's change that to change the improper fractions, change the mixed fractions to improper fractions. So we will have 3 times 2 plus 1, that would be 7 over 2. 3 times 6 plus 1, that would be 19 over 6. And plus x equals 10. Okay, once again, we need the same denominator on these two fractions. So what we can do is multiply the first fraction by 3. Okay, so then we will have 21 over 6 plus 19 over 6 plus x is equal to 10. And then now we just do this addition, add the numerators. So 21 plus 19 gives me 40 over 6 plus x is equal to 10. And now we just want to know what x is, so we need to move the 40 over 6 to the other side. And the way we do this, we take away 40 over 6 on both sides. So if we take away 40 over 6 on this side, we just have x, and then on the other side, on the left hand side, we have 10 minus 40 over 6. Okay, let's go to a new page. Okay, so we had x equals 10 minus 40 over 6. Okay, so now we can write the 10 as a fraction. 10 is just 10 over 1. Okay, and minus 40 over 6. Okay, and similarly to the previous examples we have been doing, we need to change the 10 into so that it has a denominator, the same denominator as the second equation. So if you just multiply the top and the bottom by 6, let's just do that. Multiply by 6. 60 over 6 minus 40 over 6. Now we have the same denominator, we can just take away. That would be 20 over 6. We can simplify this a little bit. So if you divide the top and the bottom by 2, we can get 10 over 3. Or if you want to mix fraction, we can have 3 and 1/3. Okay, so that's it. If you don't understand any part of the questions, just leave them below in the comments. Also, if you have any suggestions on what I should do in the future, also leave them down. So yeah, thank you very much.